What's up? Before we get into today's episode, I gotta ask you a question. When this one's geared towards the fellas right now, but does your dingus look like Master Yoda trying to force lift two boulders deep in the Dagobah swamp? You know, or does it just look like a fucking smashed tarantula? Well, then you got to do something about that. And the one of our sponsors, the fine people at Manscaped.com, have what you need to deal with that situation. Now, first off, they have a new razor called the Lawnmower 3.0, and that is a scientifically formulated and developed and researched razor that helps you shave those areas down there and groom up and clean up those areas down there, free of any nicks and cuts and things that could cause a little bit of blood in areas where you do not want to see blood coming from. So it's there's like this they have these like special formulated blades that take care of you and will clean you up nice and good. So check them out at manscaped.com. They also have a whole line of products for and products and deodorants and skin toners and things that you can check out. And if you use the promo code Big Truth, all capital letters, BIGTRUTH, you will get free shipping, but you will also get 20% off your order. So they already got a bunch of deals going on, and you'll get 20% even off all those deals. So check them out right now at manscaped.com. And I'm doing a little contest here. Whoever comes up with the best kind of metaphor for what an unkept groin area looks like on a dude, we will use that in one of these upcoming commercials. I'll give you a shout online and a shout on the podcast, and we will also send you a gift pack that contains products from a lot of our sponsors. You'll get some stuff from Manscaped. You'll get some stuff from everybody, Chopperhead, Pitchfork, even things like Pirates Press Records have sent us some stuff for these giveaways, and we'll send you a nice little gift package. Send your best kind of metaphor to the Big Truth Podcast. You can either send it to me at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com or shoot me a direct message online on Instagram, just at Big Truth. All right, so besides Manscaped, I got to give a big shout out to Chop Cult. And if you're not familiar with Chop Cult, I don't know why, but basically they're the biggest and best news resource out there in social network dedicated to motorcycle riders and chopper builders. Check them out at chopcult.com. They got all kinds of stuff going on, including weekly features, blog dumps, classifieds, and a huge online active motorcycle-related forum that is broken up by whatever topic you're interested in, whatever type of bike you're interested in, whatever you're trying to do, whether you're just trying to look at some pictures of choppers or get some tech advice or go to their classified section to find some parts. It's all right there. Everything's free, so sign up today if you're not already signed up. If you haven't been in a while, go back, log in, and check it out. Get caught up on what you've been missing. You can also find Chop Cult on all the social media, simply at Chop Cult. That includes Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, and so forth. Omerta, if you haven't heard about this clothing brand or streetwear brand or whatever you want to call these lifestyle brands, Omerta is the one that you really need to check out if you haven't already. These dudes that run the company are old friends of mine, and they live the life, and this isn't a fly-by-night operation of some people trying to cash in on a culture. These dudes are the culture. So check them out at omertamia.com, www.omertamia.com. As real as and authentic as it gets. They have an array of clothing, T-shirts, hoodies, jackets. They make a lot of like limited edition screen prints, all kinds of stuff over there. So you can also find them on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. Just simply at Omertamia. And again, just like with Manscaped, if you use the code BIGTRUTH at checkout, you will get 20% off your order. So another generous and generous offering from one of our sponsors, and so make sure you take advantage of that, because as you know, 20% is pretty significant discount. You also want to check out Pitchfork New York, which is pitchforkny.com. That is a clothing company, but also besides a clothing company, they also a record label. My boy Warren's been doing this for years, and you can check them out at pitchforkny.com or on Instagram at pitchforkny. They do all kinds of hardcore and punk related and metal related kind of clothing and accessories. And the record label is cool because he does like these limited edition 7 inches, and they're collectible 7 inches that come in different limited color schemes. One side always has an East Coast band and the other side always has a West Coast band. So it's a series that he's been doing for a little while now. Also, Chop Ahead is my motorcycle shop. You can check us out at chopahead.com, or even better yet, if you're in New England, come by. We're in Freetown, Massachusetts. Online, we have some parts. We have accessories and clothing and stuff for sale, which we also have available in the shop, because we have you come in, we got a little showroom, we got a parts counter, and then all the work is done in the back. And, we're a full-service motorcycle shop. We do this. We do everything from oil changes to full custom builds. So you want a chopper built, that's fine. You want some kind of other kind of classic restoration, we can do that. If you want a crazy bagger with a upgraded sound and all the bells and whistles, we'll do that. But yeah, especially if you want to do an old school chopper, we're 100% into that. If there's any parts you need that we don't have on the website, you can always give us a call, because we can pretty much get whatever you need. 508-995-6764, or check us out at chopahead.com, which is CHOPPAHEAD.com. And last but not least, I want to thank you for listening today. You can get more information at bigtruthpodcast.com. And go there, subscribe to the newsletter and whatnot. Look at all the episodes. We'll have a little store coming soon. We got a new blog for information and whatnot. But that's about it. I want to definitely thank you for taking the time to listen to this and listen to the episode. If you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, please subscribe and leave some feedback and some reviews. Definitely, whatever we can do to improve, you can always feel free to shoot us an email at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com if you have any suggestions. All right, I want to thank you, and we're going to get into it right now.
Sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, we have liftoff. Once again, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. We are broadcasting live from just outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or somewhere deep within the heart of Pennsylvania. I don't even really fucking know where I am right now, but I do know that I'm sitting here with my brother from another mother, my boy Stress. What's happening, man?
What's up, buddy? Just to we're in the boonies right now.
We
are pretty close to Williamsport and Erie. Right in between.
Okay, I've heard of Erie. I have never heard of Williamsport.
Yeah, Williamsport is world famous for the Little League World Series.
Okay, yeah.
So,
well, fuck me for not knowing.
Yeah. I know. I only know that because I live here.
All right, man. But yeah, man, we've been we were at a Van and Chopper show a little bit while ago, and we're recording this podcast here. If you don't know, Stress is a multifaceted man. He's a producer with like gold records under his belt. He's a DJ. He's a vocalist, in thrash bands. He plays all different types of music. He owns a recording studio. It's a renaissance man of music right here.
I appreciate that, man.
So, go ahead.
No, that's good. I just, that's pretty much what I do, and
Did I miss anything?
No,
I'm sure I missed something.
Well, I have ventured into being that the streaming game is fucking up songwriters and publishing. I have done the adult thing and started getting into flipping real estate. So.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. We'll talk about that too, man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
For sure.
This episode is not brought to you by Old English Malt Liquor, but that's what I am drinking. And,
I can see it.
It's a nightcap for champions right here. I will not drink the 40 ounces anymore. I got to go on record in saying that. And if you are in any way, shape, or form connected to anybody that works for Old English, tell them me and my boy Junior from Los Angeles both 100% agree, and my boy Big Nick, who's from New York but lives in San Diego right now. I'm sorry, he lives in Oceanside. I know there's big differences, but we are 100% banning Old English 40s ever since a couple years ago. They went from glass bottles to plastic bottles.
You know, it's crazy. I don't drink alcohol, but back in the day, I used to be like a major big Raspberry Snapple fan.
Yeah.
And the glass is crack, and the plastic is shit, dude. Like
glass is crack.
Yeah.
Plastic is whack.
Plastic is whack.
That's right.
Yeah. I didn't know. I thought there was like an issue like with the old D. I don't know.
No. Well, that's why I'll drink this 24-ounce can, but I ain't drinking the 40s no more.
Right on.
It tastes like garbage. It tastes like you can taste the plastic. I don't know if it's psychosomatic or if it's real.
Nah, I think
but
it's
like
real.
it feels like hot plastic to me. It could be ice cold and I'm like, this tastes like shitty hot plastic. So whatever. But by and large that does not real matter because we got the cans here. We're moving on. So tell me a little bit about you, for everybody that doesn't know. I mean, I know you, and I know what you do, and I know you do a lot of photography and different things as well too. But tell us a little bit about your kind of musical endeavors and how it came about. Because I know not only do you like you have a studio and do all different, but you also like you're involved in all kinds of different music scenes. Like everything I'm into, you're involved in that type of music. Like whether it's hardcore or punk or thrash or hip hop, whatever. Like like tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into this stuff.
Yeah, when I was younger, my mom and dad had a party, and then like a pool party, and then after the party was over the next day, my parents didn't clean up the backyard because I guess it was a pretty busy party, and then there was a cassette out back, and it was Van Halen 2. I didn't know who the hell Van Halen was or what Van Halen meant, but I popped it into the cassette player that my parents had, and it was all over for me. Well, or the beginning for me.
Like, how old were you?
Probably like 8.
Okay. Yeah.
So not knowing that I wanted to be involved in music, but all from the cassettes that my parents would buy me for Christmas presents or like birthdays, to the point of me cutting my grass, buying Van Halen cassettes and everything. Yeah. I always, the beauty of like buying a record and opening up the cover, whether it's an album, cassette, or CD, and I would always read the cassette, and it always said produced by Ted Templeman. And I'm like, yo, who the fuck is Ted Templeman?
Yeah.
And I never knew. And I never even knew what a producer was. And then as time went on, my parents, I was telling you at the motorcycle show, the first cassette my parents ever bought me. So the first one I ever listened to was Van Halen 2, but the first one my parents bought me was Fair Warning by Van Halen, The Fat Boys Are Back, and then Raising Hell by Run DMC. So out of nowhere, here I'm listening to like hair metal Van Halen, which at that time, I didn't really know what punk rock was.
Now, did you ask for those records, or did they just pick those up for you?
They picked them. They picked them for me because I was my aunt was into it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's rad.
She
cool,
was like a couple years older than me.
Yeah.
So, but then like hip hop, I just started gravitating towards that. But then moving forward, I always told my dad, I was like, yeah, this is like 10 years old. I'm like, yeah, I hate where I live. I'm moving to California. I'm going to live with Van Halen. I want to be covered in tattoos. And, you know, if my dad was...
Well, the covered in tattoo part came through, right?
Yeah, if my dad was alive, he'd probably be smacking me, man, because I'd like... But I ended up moving forward to, like, I always worked jobs and everything, and then I would kind of argue, not argue, but have, like, differences of opinions with my dad about, like, Van Halen and... like the Beatles. Like my dad was like, the only rock my father really listened to was like the Beatles and like the Young Rascals. Everything else was soul music, you know? So I ended up working a lot of jobs growing up in the high school and everything, you know, you name it. And then my senior year of high school, I was living at home and I told my dad, I was like, yo, Dad, I'm taking this income tax check return. He's like, what are you gonna do with it? I'm like, I'm gonna go buy turntables. And he goes, what the fuck you want to buy turntables for? And I was kind of fibbing. I was like, I'm going to go DJ parties to make money. But I really want to do is start a rap group.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of everything for me, you know? So I was DJing for this rap group that I put together. And then my guys they would rhyme on the B-sides of 12 inches, you know? And then...
Like on the instrumentals?
Yeah, right? So then, you know... in the area, people were making some noise amongst our friends and our like local circle of people, and then like people were asking like, "That was cool, you guys rhyming on like the instrumental of an Ice Cube song. Like, when's some original stuff coming out?" And I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, what am I gonna do?" So then, you know, these producers who I have a lot to thank. I thank them many times when I see them, and in my head they taught me a lot. But they were going to this producer guy named Pat, and Pat would make the music for us. And then I bought a sampler off of Pat, and then I found my niche. I just happened to be good at like putting songs together. And then
what sampler was it?
A Roland W30 MIDI workstation.
Oh, yeah.
I still have it. Yeah, it barely boots up.
Yeah.
And then I went from that to MPC 2000. And then that, you know, it's so crazy. I don't even really use it that much, but it has a lot of sentimental value because my father, he passed away in 2001, and my mom, we were really poor. And for some reason, that W30, the Roland, the first one I ever had, took a shit. And then I was DJing for the Lords of Brooklyn for a while, and they were selling it. Thanks, buddy. Hey, Eric, how are you?
We're joined by both of you guys have been on the podcast. Ryan Packer and Eric Uche here as well, and hanging out in the background. So
yeah,
if we get a little distracted, that's all that's going on.
Like you're a vet at this. They're making me uncomfortable now.
Oh yeah, no.
Breathing down my neck and shit.
I would be uncomfortable if they were behind my back too. I'm facing them, so it's not as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, so I ended up. My mom had no money, but somehow she found a way to let me borrow money to buy that MPC 2000 I bought from Adam from the Lords of Brooklyn, and I mean so much to me, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so from that, I ended up making a name, banging out on pads, and producing, you know, I work with a lot of people, a lot of legendary people in hip hop, but I never really placed something. And then I finally started placing some songs, and basically, like, not just like I produce whole songs, like, Truth, I want you to fall back and play in the key of this, but I need you to do this, and Packer, I want you to do, you know, and I don't know, I feel like I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by like some of the best session players in the world. And
well, because just one thing, just for people that are unfamiliar with it, especially with the genre, like producing in like music can mean two things, especially in hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes like people who just made the beat, they call that producing. Produce this, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Produce a beat. But producing also, in a recording sense, means being there, giving input, like you just said. Hey, bring it down to this key, or do that, or give input on how to make the whole song better, or adding to the song, adding to the creativity part of the song.
And I got started doing this by being a DJ. So basically, I feel like producers are tastemakers and polishers. So basically, like, you have all this raw talent, and it's just like this guy, he can sing whatever, you know, and he has all these demos, but you have to put them all together in a format that's like pleasable to, you know, everybody. I mean, I'm shooting for top tier always, you know, even though I love punk rock and metal, but most of the stuff I've done has either been urban or like pop related remixes. So the whole mentality is like, I need soccer moms to buy this too.
Yeah,
or want to like listen to it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what, for all like the thrash metal that I love and punk rock stuff and like work music, I love pop music, man. Like the most cheesy pop, like because it's a challenge. And you know, I don't know. I like all styles of music, whatnot, but
is it a challenge because it's outside of the wheelhouse of stuff you listen to?
Yeah, part one,
and then also learning the culture of it in a way,
yeah.
like what you're trying to learn. You're trying to make something that will appeal to somebody that's not like in your circle.
1000%, and like the some of the best, like I said, some of the best players and songwriters are in the pop music world. You know what I mean? Is someone busting ass over there?
I don't know. It's like creepily quiet over there.
We're trying to be professional.
All right, yeah. We're all professional there. But yeah, so as a producer, so you've DJ'd for
man,
so many artists.
Yeah, the Lords of Brooklyn, Reef the Lost Cauze, OuterSpace, from AOTP, Freddy Madball. I've done a bunch of fucking crazy tours with Danny Diablo. Oh my God, that guy set fucking fields and hotel rooms on fire. That guy.
Yeah.
But I've even done like one night runs with, you know, just somehow they need a DJ.
Sure,
You know,
yeah.
So, but yeah, most of my extensive touring has been like 99% in the hip hop world. You know.
Yeah.
So,
in production, I know you got some heavy hitters under your belt.
Yeah.
What have been some of the kind of highlights of production for you?
Well, I mean,
and I know you're being humble, but I know you got like a Ghostface. I know you got a Ghostface record.
Yeah.
That went gold. And
well, yeah, I did. So I was touring with Lords of Brooklyn, and my youngest brother got in trouble for writing graffiti on a trailer, but it wasn't. It was with a T-shirt. You know how the trailers get all mucked up.
Yeah.
And so he just took a T-shirt and did a piece. Someone ratted him out. They were trying to kick my brother off tour, who he was just young. And
yeah,
you know, my dad had died a couple years ago, so I brought him out to bond with him. I'm the closest thing to it, like
Sure.
a father figure to him. So the only way I could bond with him while I was still out there working, I would bring him. It was like the best summer vacation for him, you know.
Yeah.
And now he's a giant DJ out in Vegas
yeah.
now. Yeah, but Jack, his job was to get us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Try to teach him responsibility, whatever.
Yeah.
So then when he ended up getting lunch one day, someone came up to him. He's like, "Are you that kid in the Lord's crew that got busted writing graffiti?" Jack's like, "Yeah." They kick you out? He goes, "No, they tried to, but you know, I just have to behave." And then the guy was like, "All right, well, you got a black book?" And Jack goes, "What do you mean? I write graffiti. Of course I got a black book." And the guy was like, "Yeah, I write too. Come over to my bus. This is the Gym Class Heroes bus. My name's Travis." And Jack was like, "All right, cool, man." So Jack came back with our food, and then he was just like, "Yo, I met this dude from Gym Class Heroes, and you know, I told him about." Oh no, he says, "Come over to the Gym Class Heroes bus and bring your black book." And Jack goes, "Oh, by the way, I make beats too." And Travis was like, "How old are you?" He's like, "I'm 12." He's like, "Bring a beat CD." And Jack's like, "Yeah, you should probably listen to my brothers because he taught me everything, and my brother stuff's dope, you know." So then Jack came back to the bus, and you know, he's like, "Yeah, I met this guy. He wants you to give me a beat CD and I'll run it over." My brother was politicking on tour.
At 12, yeah.
Yeah, he would have
But what it goes to show you is that if you bring a kid out and show them the world, they adapt to the world and learn and can do more than what you think a 12-year-old can do.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, I mean, I'm a big believer of college, but my father was always saying, like, you know, learn a trade. And I know a trade. It's a rare trade. I mean, being a producer, traditionally back in the day, you had a recording engineer, and then you have a mix engineer, and then you have a producer who doesn't touch anything. Well, out of necessity of being a producer, I needed a place to record and mix my stuff, and I happened to get pretty decent at all of that. So basically, it was like, you know, like it's like a hands-on trade. So basically, last day of that tour in Cleveland, Trav came up to me and he was like, "Yo, I really love your stuff. I'd like to work with you. I have a couple opportunities for a remix." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I did one. They were like, "Oh, we like it, but we want it vintage." So I just went all out and hired every session player that I knew that I've worked with in the past, for like Rough House Records and Chuck Treese and everything. They wanted something real vintage, and then I finished it. And then they told me like Omarion or Joel Santana was going to be on it, and I was like, "Oh, stoked on that." But then nothing happened. And then one day I just got vocals sent to me. It's like Ghostface Killah vocals. Please insert this into the song. So that's the song I remixed, had Ghostface on it, and then that went gold, and
that was a Gym Class Heroes.
Gym Class Heroes. But then Ghostface took the same song and then put it on his Big Doe Rehab record as the album only down.
Like a bonus track.
Bonus track, yeah. So yeah, I've done that, and then I single-handedly developed Tyga. They couldn't even get him a deal, and he spent like a month and a half with me. I did like 20 songs. My brother Jack, about 13 years old, he did like 4 or 5, and then they got him a deal. And then I ended up getting 4 on his first record. They took it out of circulation, but of those 4 songs, one has an official Lil Wayne feature. So Ghostface, besides Gangstar and Nas, like Ghostface and Wayne, like I'm their biggest fan. You know what I mean? So
and you
like,
got to do stuff.
Yeah. So I've done stuff with Sister Nancy, you know, Rancid, Tim Armstrong. I went on a run. Tim had a song a day campaign a couple years ago, and I did a whole bunch of joints with him. Bring Me the Horizon. Tons of hip hop stuff, man. A lot of underground. So all different style of music genres. That's why I feel lucky, because my dad listened to soul music. My mom did, like, you know, disco. I was into rock and anything that was like the most rebellious type of music I could listen to, and I just always listened to music, and I don't know, like I just happened to, I could pretty much jump in any format, and you know what I mean, and just kind of, because I love music that much, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
I feel fortunate enough to be able to have had a long run. I mean, I'm still active, but the music game's kind of fucked up right now. You know what I mean? It's just like dance, boy. Like, you know, you want 0.0066 of a penny for a play instead of 14 cents a spin. Like, dance, boy. And you're like dancing. Like, I want to make some, and it sucks, man. Like, they really force you to have to go out and tour. Like a songwriter, you can be a songwriter and live in this business pretty much forever if you're relevant. And now it's like, it's a grimy business, man. You know,
yeah, especially for someone like a producer, like you said, if it's like, if you don't have like a deal with that, like, how do you usually structure it? Is it like, do you get a percentage of it for a song, like a point on a song, or do you get like, or is it like cash up front type of thing?
Yeah. So for like Tyga, for that whole record, they got him a deal. It was it was through Fueled by Ramen, I think. But instead, traditionally they would upshoot to Atlantic Records, but this time it was MTV. But basically, I got paid for every track I did. I got mechanical points on the per sale, and then I got a little less than about every song except the Wayne song. I got about a quarter of the publishing. So you know, so you get paid through like ASCAP or one of those things. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Now you don't get paid like that anymore because I mean, I'm an Apple Music subscriber because it's the best bang for your buck. But I'm also fucking myself at the same time, you know. So
well, I heard it explained this way before too. Is like, you know, in the past, people bought a record and they bought it once and they could play it 5,000 times, but now you get paid for each time the song is actually played on a streaming service. The problem is that it's such a fraction of a fucking cent that it doesn't, you know what I mean? It unless you're like a super mainstream artist, it doesn't really add up as much. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Like, here's a good example. Like I got signed to a publishing deal. It was the company's called Amalgam, but now they're called Concord. Huge. Pink Floyd. Who else? Long story short, I was leaving the office and they had like a giant Publishers Clearinghouse style check, right? And it was for from Spotify, and the song was Daft Punk and Pharrell, Get Lucky, right? 80 fucking million spins, right?
Yeah.
Traditionally, 13.9 cents a spin, rounded up to 14 cents, right?
Yeah.
So say Truth and Stress did that song. Truth wrote the words, Stress wrote the music, 50-50, right? 7 cents a spin. 80 million spins times 14 cents comes out to be roughly $1.2 million. You get 600K, I get 600K. That's why hit records generate revenue.
Sure, yeah.
Bro, that fucking check was for 50 grand.
Yeah.
So that I think don't quote me on this, but it breaks down to like 0.0066 something of a penny. So now we're splitting 0.0033.
Yeah.
It's like straight, you're getting raped, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think, isn't there something going through Congress now for that? Like to try and push it so that artists get a little bit more of the royalties for
American Modern Music Act is what it's called. So I don't know how far it's gone. I mean, I'm still active in music, but I'm just trying to fucking flip houses and make money, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to grow up.
And it's crazy, and it's just, and just as a case in point. So for people getting involved in it, and you always see like we grew up like with hip hop and hardcore and punk and this and that, and you always see more in the hip hop world than the hardcore world. Like put me on or blah blah blah, or I'm gonna do this and get paid doing this blah blah blah. Like punk has lower aspirations. It's more just doing it for the outlet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Usually, I'm not talking about the pop punk stuff, but with like hip hop, there's more of a consumer or like a little material. You can be a gold record producer and you're still moving on to other shit to actually make money. So if you're doing music, do it because you love it. Don't
and
set out, you know what I mean? Like
I've said that before. It's just like, it'll come at some point, whatever accolades or type of financial, it's talent. Everyone, there's so much talent out there. There's so many more people talented than me or Kanye out there that no one knows about,
Sure, and it's just finding them and
right place, right time, cream of the crop.
Lightning striking.
Right. Like, for instance, like Eric, Packer, you and me, we're in a band, right? And then, the band breaks up.
We're going to record later, by the way, guys. Yeah. So get ready. Eric, you're singing, and I don't know what I'm doing.
but for instance, it's like it works like this in a way. I feel like, okay, so Packer quits the band because he has a child, and he just can't do it anymore, right? Eric leaves the band because Eric gets arrested or something. Something wild, right?
This is a little too close to like fucking reality. I don't know.
So now it's just us two left in the band that were left, but we drift apart, But those crazy music business Christmas parties, I'm like, oh shit, Truth, what are you doing here? Why are you at a Roadrunner Christmas party? What are you doing? And you're like, I'm an exec for Atlantic. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm still writing songs. I've done this. I'm on the Good Charlotte record or something. And then you're like, oh, we need to link up, and that's how it works. So I'm saying like the cream rises to the top, and at some point you're gonna make that connection. At some point, the money game's fucked up right now. Like you said, do it. You're doing it because you love it, and then you can find ways to make money. It's just like it's a grind, dude.
Yeah.
So
I think the cream rises to the top is definitely happens, but I definitely think it needs something to help push it to the top. You could be the best producer in the world, but if you're sitting in your house in like fucking somewhere in Nebraska and you're not near where the industry center is, like it's going to be harder for you unless you're really hustling and sending it and being proactive about getting the shit out there.
All those things that you just said is hustling and being proactive.
Yeah. So it's just, it's just a thing
I treat everything in life like a band, though. That's all I know. You know what I mean? From even flipping houses and real estate to like I became...
It's funny because Apathy's doing that too.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
That's my buddy, man. He's a good guy. Yeah. It's the smartest thing that you can do, if you believe in God or you believe in our controllers or whatever the fuck you want to say, they're not
Odin, whatever.
Yeah. or fucking Beelzebub or
whatever.
Fucking,
Mephistopheles.
Yeah. Or fucking Seth.
Yeah.
You ever see that book, the Seth channelings? Oh, it's pretty crazy.
No, I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's pretty crazy.
We'll get into that.
But there's not much more land being made, so it's like the smartest thing that you can do, I feel, so. And then I get to be creative as well. My sister and I and an old family friend who's a really successful realtor, like we put our own spin on the house. It's just not like we're buying a house and flipping it. We're actually like putting care and giving our own spin on it, So I really enjoy it, It's.
But are you also probably kind of more cherry picking properties that you wanna?
Yeah. Well, we teamed up with so the guy that I bought any property I've ever had, he's an old neighbor, right? So he's in between my age and my mom and dad's age. Really good guy. Heavy stoner, like he's just like a really good dude, and he's incredible realtor, like in Remax's Hall of Fame, like and
he's got the special jacket.
Kind of, yeah. You would never really think that, but he's the best. But people are coming to him, so we get like the dibs on like properties for like, and when you come in on cash with things, sometimes it's just like we bought a house recently for like, I don't know, like 160 something, and we fucking flipped it for like 320. Like,
yeah.
And
are you doing rehab stuff too, or just?
That's all we're doing. Yeah. Like, so I mean, you'll get these houses that are like but it needs work, but it allows us to put our own spin on it.
Get equity, And then you have the vision for it that you got to be able to see through it.
Yeah, my sister, she's the best with it, man. Like, if it wasn't for her, she would be. Like she's the glue, man.
Yeah,
she's the champ with it all. So,
do you see? Like I hear that I get a little worried, and I don't know if this is something that's any chatter in the industry there. Like that there's another bubble coming.
Could be.
Yeah. I just economically all the way around, and then of course like that would like obviously housing turns into that too, or real estate turns into that too. But
right now, at least in the county where I live, it's like it's a highly sought after county to live in.
Sure.
But there's no inventory, so
if something comes up, it's gone.
I've been in my new house for a year, and because I went through 2 divorces, whatnot, it took me a long time to sell my old house, plus move my studio and everything. I didn't even have to list it. Like it went like that.
Yeah.
So when people are buying right now, so it could the bottom could fall out, but in the meantime, that's why you get properties that you own to rent out at the same time. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's so many ways to make money, and I don't know. At the end of the day, like I do music, I look a certain way. I flip real estate. I don't like. Look at me.
That's what I wanted to ask about. You're flipping real estate. You have, and you'll see the picture of stress with the artwork for the episode. But you got face. You don't got a little bit of face tattoo. You got a lot of face tattoos, necks, throat, hands, fucking whatever.
Yeah, and it's not even like cartoon rapper, like cartoon writing rapper. I mean, my face had been tattooed before. Like, you fucked your life. Every time I came.
No. Yeah, when it was still like sailors and convicts, and it wasn't like it wasn't like fucking candy wrappers. With rainbow bright hair with tattoo in the face.
My buddy Don Juan, I'd always come home from tour, especially in Europe, and I always used to grow my beard so white now, but I used to grow like almost big like your beard all the time, right? And I always come and shave it off, and he's like, you're back. You must be back from tour. I'm like, yup. He goes, another fuck your life tattoo? And I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And now most people do care like about face tattoo. Let's pause. Motherfuckers are getting their head and their neck and face tattooed before they have any tattoos on them.
No, dude.
Scratchers.
Because of the tattoo shop me and Ryan have, we see that shit all the time. Like, motherfuckers come in, they got hands, throat, face, all this. They don't even have their forearms filled. It's just not a good look. Wait, what? Eric is trying to air write something to me. What was that?
I can't say.
All right, yeah.
Starts with the F and ends with a G.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So just so you know, that's not a good look, and you're not getting over it. And you can wear your long sleeve sweaters all year round and whatever. But if you only got you went to there's tradition and there's history to shit. You went to your hands and your throat and your face when everything else was fucking covered and you had no room for anything else. And,
I found the way to make it work for me, but like I made a living off of what I did in a way, but I also owned like a piece of real estate that I had a store in there. Now it's a barbershop, whatever. Like always found ways to grind, because I'm telling you, man, I am not, it may sound like otherworldly or whatever. I am, the way that I look, whatever. I know there's tons of other people that look like me. I am not fucking built to work for the man. I'm going to do my thing. I'm here for a certain amount of time, and I'm not literally saying fuck everybody, but fuck everybody. I'm going to do what I want to do. We were just talking about this today. I roll solo most of the time, dude. I just, I do what I want to do, and it's about freedom to me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And what we were talking about earlier today. But I don't know, man. Like I really wish life was still stuck in like 1994, man, banging boom bap. Fucking shit was like Mavic.
Yeah, people still bought records, and you didn't have to because the thing is like with music now, whether it's punk rock or hip hop, whatever, like people have to tour to sell merch to actually make the money now, because you're basically giving the music almost away on these streaming services. So like as a producer, you're getting even fucking less. You know what I mean? It's like a harder thing, but.
The way I justify that in my brain, like, you always hear people, and I'm not saying like, oh, I made it, but when I placed my first record with or the Tyga stuff, like 19 pages worth of work, like they can't take that away from me.
No, yeah.
So that said, like, even if it all went away now, I'm okay with it. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you've still accomplished. Yeah. You've still made a mark,
and I'm still doing music,
and you're still doing music.
Yeah, because I love it. I don't know much, but like fucking Philly sports, fucking music, aliens, and fucking guns, a lot of guns,
and nighttime photography.
That's my favorite.
Photographing the stars, meaning the more important stars that are above your head, not Hollywood stars. He's not paparazzi. He's fucking.
I'm alien paparazzi.
Alien paparazzi. Yeah. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But fucking, we talked about kind of like your hip hop career, and then you also you're producing, you're running a studio, and I know you've like you said, you work with Tim Armstrong and other bands and stuff. Like when did you find like hardcore and punk, and like what got you into that route?
When I was in high school, I don't know, 10th grade, maybe 9th, 10th grade. So the kids, when I went to high school, the kids from an area called Yardley, they were a little better off financially. But the kids that I knew from Yardley were fucking bad, and they introduced me to, I don't know.
Is that where you're from? Is Yardley?
No, I'm from Fairless Hills, but Yardley. I ended up buying my first house there. I was there for a year, and because of motorcycles and non-white people coming to my house, I was a drug dealer. So I was out in a year,
Yeah.
But where's I going with this as a brain fart?
I was talking about your introduction to punk, and you were talking about the Yardley kids being bad.
Bad Brains, man. The Bad Brains. I mean, that's my favorite besides Van Halen. Like over time, that's like top 3. One of my favorite. That band changed my life completely.
Yeah.
And but kids in high school put me onto them, and then they were like, "Yeah, you need to." I think I was in 11th grade, and they're like, "Yeah, you need to check this record out." I'm like, why do I want to listen to a record that doesn't look like it's punk? It looks like it's a metal record, and it was Leeway, Born to Expire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not listening to this. And I listened to it. This was way back when, I was only listening fast, like the Bad Brains, whatnot, I couldn't get to New York City or anything like that, And oh man, once I heard that, so that was besides Anthrax. Sorry, Hoya. Besides Anthrax and Leeway and Metallica and obviously Slayer, the big 4, that's what really got me thrash metal forever, dude.
Sure, yeah.
If it's up to me, I got into punk and hardcore through thrash metal. Some people, it might be the exact opposite.
Yeah,
but I'm an older dude, so it's just I was listening to first things first, the Van Halens, the Motley Crues, the Dawkins or however you want to look
But
at
I think it's interesting that it's just to go back to something you said. I'm not trying to cut you off, but you said your first record was Van Halen or Van Halen 2, then Van Halen Fair Warning, then like Fat Boys.
Yep.
I remember my first 2 records was Kiss Double Platinum and Grandmaster Flash New York, 12-inch. Not even a whole album, just the 12-inch. And it's like, I don't know how I got that or whatever, but I was like in elementary, like probably fucking kindergarten or something, you know what I mean? And that was like the first 2 records I got. And then like...
I think Kiss Alive I bought at a flea market. And I didn't even know why, with allowance money or grass cutting money. And my dad's like, why'd you buy that? I'm like, in kid terms, I'm look at their faces, man.
Yeah,
like, why
man.
would I want to buy
dude,
that,
you know?
dude, you know?
But it was like weird. I was exposed to the exact same things, like, well, not the, but the same genres at the same time. And then fucking the first Run DMC record, like, was like, oh shit, you can combine the both of them, and that was fucking crazy. Like, and it was kind of a weird validation for being into both of them, and whatever from there.
Rick Rubin forever, man,
dude. All I gotta say is I don't have many people that I look up to in life or like I'm jealous of or whatever. But there's a few people that have been in the rooms that I'm like, these motherfuckers were everywhere. That was fucking cool. And they were there at the fucking right time. Rick Rubin as a producer is one. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Slayer, fucking Johnny Cash, fucking trying to bring Metallica back to like better days, like whatever. Whether his success on that was here or there is to be seen, but he tried, and it was a valiant effort, and it was better than some of the other stuff of recent years. But like him, Glenn Friedman, the photographer, that dude was fucking everywhere. That was fucking cool. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just like them, like those dudes, I'm a little jealous of. Like I'm like they were every fucking where that was cool.
I feel
at
that
the
way
same time.
Is Chuck in my
Chuck is your boy, Chuck Treese, like fucking McRad, fucking
to the Bad Brains, to to like fucking Lemonheads, to fucking Taj Mahal.
He was in Lemonheads.
He's playing with him. Like one. I mean, I don't know if I should say this, whatever, but the one. Yeah, I won't say it. Anyway, so Chuck's been around, man. Chuck knows. Chuck knows a lot of people, man, and he's so talented. But same deal. He's just like, dude, the shit you fucking seen, man. Or the, he told me some things about some tour stories of just some crazy Bad Brain stuff. It's just like it's just to the point.
It'll be off mic stories. Sure.
I mean, I think he was there for Rise. With Israel singing. Yeah. Chuck tried out singing, and so did Chuck Mosley from Faith No More. They both. You guys fucking.
I don't know what you do.
Where's my gun at?
I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
But that was like very action pointing at us, so I didn't know what you guys were trying to do.
We're trying to be professional. I don't want to ruin your podcast. I'm sorry.
All right. Guns are getting cocked. Fingers are being pointed. Shit's happening. Shit's happening. All right. No, it's all right. No, that's fine.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning, by the way. We're in Lewisburg.
Yeah, we're in Lewisburg, fucking hammered,
Pennsylvania,
and we're trying to hold it together professionally. What?
What show were we at?
We're at the Creep Out.
Creep Out, yeah.
We're at the Creep Out. It was a Van and Chopper show.
Love, yeah. It was a good show.
It was a good show. If they ever do it again next year around this time, check it out. If you dig vans and choppers and fucking the woods and water, come out and go to that show. And mini bikes and fucking.
And beware of the guy that has no shirt on, lots of tattoos, and he walks around with a puppet requesting songs.
And just if you see that guy, just say hi, Eric.
Today was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, it was a good day, man. It was a good day. We had a good day, fucking just having some laughs, man. But yeah, so yeah, we were just talking about like dudes like. Did you see that thing on? There's a Rick Rubin's studio has a name, and now I think it's on Showtime or HBO. There's a series. About it.
I didn't see it.
There's a documentary series about Rick Rubin.
Sign me up, man.
And check it out. I forgot the name of it, but the name of his studio, it's like, because it's like a famous studio. And
one of my favorite, I don't know if this is maybe.
It's not Shambhala, but it's like one of the, it is. It's something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It is actually. It's something, I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's in that.
Himalayan vein, you know what I mean?
Yeah. My favorite recent footage of the last 10 years or so, maybe less than that, is it's a little bit weird, but like when Sabbath put out their last record, that 13.
Yeah.
So like, think of this hotel room as the studio, right?
Yeah.
But we're on the second floor, right?
Yeah.
But on the 8th floor, Rick Rubin's listening to the whole entire thing, laying on his belly, kicking his legs up, like, nah, try this again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's so like Rick Rubin.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like I fuck with Rick, dude. You know what I mean?
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
I love all that stuff, man. And you know, I got a lot of, you know, when it comes to hip hop, who my favorite producers are in like real, like, you know, big rock productions. You know, there's a lot of producers out there that I just like. I wish I could be like them, or I try to be, or you know, everyone. What makes a producer great or good or worth his time and money, whatever, is what he brings to it and what his style is, you know. And everyone does I learned one. I'll never forget this. 1993. I'm in Rough House Studio 4, and first Euphonics automated faders. Right, it was my rap group, and I'm there with this Rasta dude named Taj, and the rest of the guys went to go get some lunch. It's 1993, I think it was, and they went to get lunch, and Taj goes, "Yo, Stress, I got to ask you a question." I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" He goes, "You got to be honest with me." I'm like, "All right, what's up?" He goes, "Yo, what do you think about that new record that just came out?" I'm like, "Oh, which one?" He goes, "Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the 36 Chambers." And I was like, phew. He goes, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "You want the truth?" He goes, "Yo, I asked you." I'm like, "Yo, man, that fucking record sounds like shit." And he goes, "But," I'm like, "It's the fucking best thing I ever fucking heard." So what I'm getting at is like, there's no rules, man.
No.
There used to be rules.
Yeah.
But there are no rules, and however you achieve from point A to point B it doesn't matter as long as what the final product is banging. You know what I mean? So,
and it's also timing.
Yes.
Because sometimes things come out too early or too late. Like if it comes out too early, people aren't ready for it, and then they discover it later, and it's like, man, that was good.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do that all the time with music. Like, you know what I mean? It's like some shit that comes along in your life at a point where you're not ready for it, and then you rediscover it later or something.
You want to hear something embarrassing? That like, it's not embarrassing, but like I got into fucking Joy Division so late in life that I mean, I fuck with it heavy. But I got into it like so late. Yeah. To the point like I love good drama, so I read Peter Hook's book about like what it was like to be in Joy Division and then New Order. One of the best recommended reads ever because it is fucking chaos. Yeah, and like, so I understand. I get into things. You get into things when you're supposed to.
When you're supposed to, but also like there's music you hear, and I was actually talking about this with Jesse from Killswitch on the last one. Sometimes you're just not ready for it, or you don't understand it, and then you go see them live. And then you go back and listen to the record and you have a different understanding or appreciation of it. Yeah. Or like you said, you read a book about this group or like the making of or what they were about or what was going on with them. And then you go back and you have a new understanding of the music and then you can appreciate it. Like whereas before you didn't have that knowledge, so you didn't have that appreciation.
Right on.
And I think that's, you know, it's cool, man. And it's cool when you still find new shit. Like I'm not a big Joy Division fan, like I know it, you know what I mean. But I know it's like a cool shirt though, like that. Like it's like been. I'm just kidding, but the coolest one I saw was like it was like those lines, but it was like Jaws. Instead of it said Jaws on the top.
Speaking of Wu-Tang, I have a Wu-Tang Joy Division.
Do you?
Yeah.
In the shape of the W.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fucking rad. One of the best days of my life was it was in Los Angeles. I don't even know when, probably somewhere, it was 96 or 97. And I just was in LA for a music thing. And I ended up rolling around with Old Dirty Bastard for the whole day. Whole day, dude, like for hours. Because he heard me talk and he's like, yo, you're East Coast. He's like, all right, you're me. We're going. He's like, fuck these West Coast, dude. Fuck these West Coast. And then all day, and he's like breathing heavy and doing shit. And I don't know why, but like we just fucking rolled around LA just being fucking jerk offs all fucking day. Because he was a funny fucking dude, man.
That's
like
a great day.
He was like a fucking rolling, like it was like being on an episode of Jackass all day. You know what I mean? And it was fucking hysterical.
It was real life though.
But it was real life. I was like, fuck, dude. And I had a radio show at the time. Like I was doing college radio.
Yeah.
And like everyone would do a drop for you and it'd be like 10 seconds or whatever. His was literally almost 3 minutes. And it was him just like being like, he's like, yo, it's the freak show with Truth. And he was just doing that for like minutes and minutes. And I was like, all right. But I would play it on my show like fucking, I wish more than anything, it was on one of those micro cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I still fucking had that shit, man. But he was like, he just kept saying it's going down. It's going down, kid. It's going down. Truth. It was fucking hysterical, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but rest in peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
1000%.
But it's interesting. Did you see that Wu-Tang documentary there that was on Showtime? Or it was one of I'm wicked bad with names of networks. I just know it was on one of the pay channels. Like I don't know if it was Showtime. I think it was Showtime.
Yeah. My girlfriend and I started watching it. And I was into it, and then I was just like, yo, man, fucking first couple episodes, I'm like, yo, the Wu lived a crazy life. I just Googled it up, like, yo, is this shit real? And it's just like kind of like made up around certain things in their life. And at that point, I kind of lost the for me, you know what I mean? Because I just felt like it was turning into like a soap opera a little bit. Like, you know.
What happens with TV is they got to dramatize things a little bit, I think, to make people interested.
And, no offense to them, but you know what I literally watch on TV all the time? I don't watch TV. I watch fucking YouTube on my television.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I do around the clock.
Yeah.
And it's 90% alien stuff.
I know. I was just going to say, I pretty much know what you're watching. Like, I know what you're watching.
I have my go-to things, and every once in a while something else will come up, and I'm just like, yeah, I kind of maybe seen that out there, or I hope I don't see that out there.
Yeah.
You know, like I was out there last night shooting photos down the road from here, and it was in like a dark sky conservatory called Cherry Springs State Park, and it's like 50 miles from here. And most people there, I'm not knocking the people there, but people want to see the Milky Way on the East Coast with their naked eye. It's really hard, you know, because all the light pollution.
Sure, yeah.
But then there's a lot of us that are out there with like heavy duty camera gear trying to like capture that, because it's really hard to get a beautiful photo of the Milky
those shots
Way.
you took yesterday,
they're some of my favorite ones, you know.
Magnanimous, dude, for East Coast night photography, dude.
It came out really.
It looks like it was in Alaska or some shit, dude.
It was really cool. I ended up getting a new camera, but like a lot of times, like I'm out there by myself, you know, and you kind of psych yourself out sometimes.
Sure,
but I see some shit, dude. And one time I broke into this park. I shouldn't have broke into it, but it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there by myself. So I'm setting my tripod up, and there's mad dark. I'm waiting for my eyes to settle in, and then I heard something to my right. And I'm like, fuck, man. I know it's an animal, and I love animals. I eat meat, but I can't hurt an animal.
Sure,
unless I'm trying to defend myself, whatever, or like a coyote's trying to take my dogs. But then I'm just like, all right, man, I know I can't see you, man. I'm like talking to this animal, and then so I pull my pistol out and I just rack it, and I'm like, listen, guy, I don't want to do this to you, man. I don't know even what you are. And then all of a sudden I'm like a little bit nervous, and so I grab my phone, you know, and I put the light on my phone, and there's a fucking buck right by my face, and I'm just like, oh shit, and it's close to fall. Like I'm about ready to get gored, man.
Yeah. And
he ran away.
Yeah.
But I was way happier with that than some other fucking being or something like that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Or like a fucking like a wild killer human being, but you don't see those people out there. You see weird shit in the skies though, man, and then you see weird shit in the sky.
Yeah, man.
I see a lot, man. So.
Dude, there was one time we were in, you know, I used to live in Arizona, and then I go back and visit. But if you're, and I know you've been through the Flagstaff area.
Oh, it's my favorite place in the country.
I lived there for a couple of years, and that, like, you can just go out into the woods at night and you could see fucking the Milky Way and everything.
Yeah.
Naked eye shit, like, because you're 7,000 feet up on a mountain. There's observatories there and everything too if you want to do that. But one time I was out in Tucson, and similar thing, we were going through the desert, and this is like, I'm not putting any political spin on this, but my boy was bringing us out in the desert, and he's like, wait till you look over this ridge. I'm like, why? And he's like, all right, we just go up to the edge of this and you look over. and I was like, why? He goes, no, it's just gonna be crazy. So we're walking over, we're walking up the kind of the hill to the ridge, and we hear this noise, and what the fuck is that? Literally, fucking a huge buck comes running up the hill, like literally faced like as far as from me to you, and it like stops, and it just fucking looks for a second, and it's like frozen, and then it spun around and ran the other way.
Oh man!
But it was fucking crazy. But really, what he wanted to show us when we got to the edge of that ridge there, we're looking over into the desert. Thousands and thousands of backpacks, fucking bizarre. And he goes, "Oh, this is where everyone crosses, and they bring a change of clothes before they get onto the main road, so they don't look like they just been trekking through the desert and all the shit from the crossing." But literally, there are places in Arizona where you just see thousands of backpacks. Again, I'm not putting any political spin on it. It's just a fucking weird observation, and it's very creepy and weird to look at because you're like in this desert, like
in the middle of nowhere,
and then you come over this ridge and you just look, and as far as you can see, it's like a fucking ocean of backpacks.
Yeah.
Fucking so weird.
Yeah, man.
And bucks running up on you. You know what I mean? It was like, fucking.
One, I was out. It was during daylight, so I was prepping to go shoot at night, but I was going to be out in the desert, so I was out there, Valley of Fire, Nevada.
Yeah.
So I'm out there driving just on this long desert road. No one's out there, and it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I'm going to get to where I probably have a whole another hour and a half to get out there, find my area, set up. You know, kind of do some due diligence to see if I'm in a safe place, just making sure. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm driving, and I'm like, what the fuck is high barreling? I'm on a desert road, but out of my 9, 10 o'clock, I see this fucking thing barreling. I'm like, yo, I didn't eat any weed. I don't drive. I drive completely sober. I'm like, what? Am I having like a flashback or something? Here's the biggest. He's missing a horn, like a bighorn sheep, just barreling. He almost hit my fucking car, dude. But because like the trajectory was just like, And I just stopped the car. I'm like, yo,
what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So you see, I mean, besides animal stuff like that. Yo, side note, listening world, I'll blow up my own spot. But one of my friends told me, I'm good, man, because I have a fear of snakes and sharks. I don't like them like that. I'm like, I'm good. It's night. It's too cold for them. And my friend was like, what are you, fucking crazy? You know what I mean? Snakes come out at night. So now I'm like paranoid to be out in the desert. Like I'm going to get fucking bit by a fucking...
You know what they do?
Pit viper.
In Arizona, man, because we were riding once and we were riding from Tucson to California for the Born Free show years ago. And they coil up on the highway at night because the tar holds heat. And we were taking an off ramp, you know, middle of the night, like 3 a.m. or something. My boy goes, "You all right?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You didn't see that?" And I was like, "No." He goes, "You like rode like an inch from a rattlesnake and it fucking snapped at you." He goes, "I thought it got your leg. It must have hit your tire or something." I was like, I didn't even fucking see the thing because I was so fucking tired and glassy-eyed or whatever, you know what I mean? And I was like, fuck, dude. He's like, yeah, dude, you almost fucking got bit. So we all got like fucking rattlesnake tattoos with little 17. It was like this 17-hour ride fucking straight because just shit kept happening. It turned into a lot longer than it needed to be, but it was one of the funnest experiences ever. But yeah, man, so... You know, bringing it back to photography and taking pictures at night of, doing, sky photography. And, I know you'd mentioned aliens too. Like, you know where I'm going with this. But tell me a little bit, like you had a picture that blew up on the UFO scene a couple of years ago. And you took a picture. And what was the object called? Like they had a name for it.
So basically, you can shoot bracketed photos, meaning you set your camera up, right? You set your frame up like how you want to shoot the shot, and then you say it's going to be like 20-second exposures.
Yeah.
The camera will shoot 5 20-second exposures in a row for you of the same spot because it's on a tripod, solid, not moving. But it'll change the exposure a little bit, you know. And then when you get those all 5 of those photos off the camera card, you put them into your editing program, and you can make a composite. So, hypothetically speaking, say each image has 20 megs of data times 5. That's 100 megs of data to like abuse, meaning like you can like really bring out the colors and whatnot, you know?
So it kind of layers them all?
Yes. So I shot 5 in my front yard in my old house, and the old house is in a residential suburb, but there was no sidewalks, no street lights. It's in the woods, you know, and there was like a pretty decent opening by the woods by my house where I would shoot these photos. I was like, fuck it, it's gonna be clear. I know I'm not. I had to come up here 3 hours away to get Milky Way on the East Coast, but at least I can get some cool stuff, you know. So I shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever in a row, and then went out in my backyard, did the same thing. So that was to the southeast, the one in the front yard, and then the backyard was towards the northwest, right? So I bring these fucking these images onto the computer. Image 1, just the way I set it up. Image 2, same. Image 3, the same. Image 4, same framing and everything, but there was this fucking green thing in the sky. Like, it wasn't like a little dot or anything. It looked like Jerry Garcia, bro. Like if Jerry Garcia's head was floating in the sky. And then the 5th image was normal framing. And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? So then I kind of went into the image by itself and just like tried to not enhance what it was, but just to see what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, there's something there. So then I reset the image and then edited it to like my regular, you know, STWB style of editing the image. And then my computer program, the editing program, has my watermark on it, and I posted it somehow. Next thing you know, I'm getting calls or emails from MUFON to my website. I'm like,
which is the UFO something network, yeah,
Mutual UFO network, right? And they want to talk to me. Then and I call them hokey. It doesn't matter to me because it was cool, but there's hokey UFO like websites, and then there's like real like scientist type dudes I feel like that I follow that are like, I mean it's so outlandish in general. Like most basic people who have like a really normal 9 to 5, get up and work, bootlick the man. Like this is, you know, I need to be a soccer mom type person.
Just an ordinary 9 to 5 existence.
Yes, that just doesn't think outside the box. All these hokey websites started zeroid shaped head entity flying in this, like all these fucking, they started blowing up on all these fucking UFO sites. And then next thing you know, I get all these fucking crazy weird follower people like, yo, I seen it too. I'm like, you seen that too? I'm like, I don't even, who the fuck are you?
You're like, yo, motherfucker, I didn't even see it till I looked at my fucking images.
Yeah, because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
It wasn't there. Like me in the sky watching it. And then over time, I found the whole, like, I went back through some raw images, and sometimes when I get bored, like I overshoot just to overshoot.
Yeah.
And then so sometimes when I feel like being creative and I can't write a song or like something's going on, I'll go edit photos. And I found a bunch of these little mini green things that follow me, dude. Like, yeah.
Now, do you think, is it just for
science sake?
Yeah. Do you think it's just something weird going on with the lens, or like with the, you know, because, you know, you're doing like a long exposure shot.
Yeah.
Do you think it's something funky with that, or do you think it's something that's, because, you know, like for a while I was shooting pictures in the Freetown Forest all the time. And I was like, what are these weird little dots? Look at these fucking orbs. And then I could recreate it, and I'd see if I put the camera a certain way, I'd get like a little orb, you know what I mean? Because of the light stuff.
Sometimes, I've seen straight like, you know, lens flares and everything.
Yeah.
But this, man, it was too weird, man.
Yeah, no, I saw the picture. Yeah.
So then
I remember how excited you were when you were like, "Yo, look at this shit."
And then what I thought was even almost as what's the word? Not important, but as striking was the image I shot to the northeast. Went in my backyard, shut out all the lights, and there was no light pollution going on. And then talk about orbs, and then I saw this long fucking, which looked like this like fucking, you know, the listening world probably thinks like this motherfucker's got a tinfoil hat on, but it looked like a craft, dude. In the same night, within 5 minutes.
The same night you shot with the green thing?
Yes, and 5 images again, and it only showed up on one.
Yeah.
So-
you didn't tell me about that one.
Oh yeah, I'll show it on the phone when I'm done, man.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. Like and then one time, like that whole property's on like Native American land.
And
So,
shoot me both of those, and I'll post them up
Okay,
too
yeah.
for people to see, because I know I don't do any video stuff
Yeah.
yet. Me and Ian are going to collaborate on that and do videos sooner or later. But for now, I can post them up on my Instagram
yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
and what was this? Oh, what did I say before that? Because I always lose my train of thought because I'm a stoner. We were talking about that.
You were talking about you went back and saw the second one, and there was something like long that looked like a craft.
Yeah. But why was I going that way?
Because you were talking about like you had gone. We were talking about the green thing that showed up, and then one day when you were bored, you just went back and looked through old images, and you found other shit.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like I started starting to pay attention to things, and then I don't know, like I really don't want to run into those things. I want to photograph the Milky Way, and then maybe if a ship comes, be like, all right, cool, I see you, dude. Like hopefully you're like benevolent and you're not gonna fucking come fucking Travis Walton me, take me away.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
Now, did you see that Travis Walton documentary? That
I just saw it the other day, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
Mark from Unseen told me about it. I hadn't seen it, but I had seen like Fire in the Sky and all that.
Yeah.
Like I lived in Flagstaff, you know what I mean? So you had to watch that shit.
Yeah,
You know
I love
what I
that
mean?
movie, man.
But that documentary is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. He's a kind of a frequent like speaker at MUFON events.
Yeah.
And there's one coming up in Philly area in October, and I've been telling myself for years I'm going to go. I'm just going to go just to go. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'll learn anything new, but maybe I will. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's not like I communicate with these fucking things or whatever, but I just feel like I don't know. Like listen, man. Anyone who's listening, like, yo, you gotta be fucking out of your fucking mind to think like, yo, we're the only things like that are like sentient beings, man. Like, come on, man. There's just like,
Well, I mean, haven't scientists done like calculations and like statistically it's almost impossible that we're the only thing, you know?
yeah, exactly. So hopefully, listen, man, I feel like within the next 3 or 4 years, we're gonna start seeing things like in a way, like coming out to the public. I mean, they're doing things now, but with the political climate that we're in right now, it's like, oh, now they're releasing like, oh, Navy pilots have like.
Well, I was gonna say, what do you think about the Pentagon officially acknowledging the existence of UFOs? Meaning
it's gonna be a soft disclosure.
Yeah,
like
well, it kind of already has been, right?
Yeah,
they're saying it like, yeah, we're admitting there's something,
but in a controlled way to continue to keep controlling us, because basically, like from what I read and from what smart people that I'm reading are saying, like you have to figure like how much technology is being kept from us. Do you understand? Like, and I don't know, like a soft disclosure will never give us the things that for like free electricity. Come on, man. Like how the fuck are you traveling from X part of the galaxy or the universe and like come on, man. There's so many other things out there, and I know I sound like I'm a fucking tinfoil hat guy, but I mean even when you look at religious texts and stuff, man, like like the Gita, like like Vimanas, there's fucking they talk about fucking UFOs all fucking day. Look at fucking Christian himself. He's fucking blue. Come on.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't think about that stuff, man. I mean,
what freaks me out too is like when you look at like art through the centuries and they show like these art pieces from like 1400s and stuff, like,
hell yeah.
And you'll see like what looks like a fucking UFO or a flying saucer in the fucking sky in this painting and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the fuck is that all about?
Yo, did
man?
you ever see the movie The Fourth Kind?
Yeah, that's the one. I was referencing that on a previous episode, and I couldn't remember the name of it because I was like, it's a Hollywood movie that has a fake documentary embedded in it, and the documentary looks real, even though it's another Hollywood movie.
For sure,
But based on a book or based on allegedly true events. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot of people deal with these things a lot. People are traumatized.
Did I ever tell you the story? Like when I still lived in Dorchester in Boston, like the weirdest thing that ever happened to me. I've only had like a couple of like paranormal events, and one, you know, sleep paralysis. It's not. Could be a paranormal event, could be a psychological event, could be a fucking physical thing. I don't know. But one night, and this is around the time, a little bit before that Fourth Kind movie came out. And I'm sure the the stories or whatever. I wasn't familiar with it. But one night I only once in my life has this happened. I had sleep paralysis. I woke up. I still lived it was in Dorchester, right on the Dorchester South Boston line, Andrew Square in Boston, for anyone that knows the area. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I physically couldn't move. I was laying on my side facing the wall. My bed was against the wall, and I was facing the wall, and I was like, "Fuck, they're behind me. They're behind me." But I couldn't move, and I kept just thinking that they're behind me. And I couldn't move. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was probably only 30 seconds, a minute at the most, but it felt like fucking hours because it literally paralyzed, couldn't move. It fucking freaked me out. Freaked me out so much the next day I was calling like doctors and shit saying, hey, in the middle of the night, this is kind of weird, but in the middle of the night, I couldn't move and I felt paralyzed. I don't know what that is. Like, should I get an MRI or some shit? You know what I mean? They're like, oh, don't worry about it. It's the first time and blah, blah, blah. And then literally like 2 days later, I go out on my porch. We lived in a third floor apartment. It was me and Esoteric.
Oh, nice.
And I lived on a third floor apartment, and I walked outside and, to our back porch, and literally again, from me to you, there was a tree in our backyard. And from me to you, there's this fucking huge white owl just fucking staring at me.
Stop.
And I'm no, it's serious, dude, hand to God. And I was
like that movie, bro.
Yeah, it was like the fucking movie. And this is before the movie came out. The movie was not too long after that. Sorry, just adjusting this mic here. It kind of slipped down.
That's crazy.
But it was that was one of the weirdest things that's ever happened to me. The other one was just fucking a couple of months ago. I was coming home, and I live in Freetown now, which is an old swamp Yankee town, dude, like 1600s. The town predates the country, it's from the 1600s. And, we're in the area where there's a lot more history than some of the rest of the country, And I was coming home and driving, and like it's probably 3 a.m, coming home from like KO's or something, just, whatever. And there's this area where there's all these old farms, and then there's this old cemetery there that is like for the families of those farms and whatnot. And I'm driving, and there's no one else on the road. There's no one coming towards me, so there's no lights or doing anything. And like 2 orbs come and like shoot out and like fucking swirl around a little bit in front of my fucking truck, and then just fucking shoot off into the distance. And those are the only 2 weird things that ever happened to me,
dude. So I make these milkshakes that we all know about. And so sometimes you may have gotten video. So this is when my ex-wife, I was in the kitchen and I was making this milkshake. Psychedelic. And I would do this to my other stoner friends. I would take my camera and film it on slow motion, right? The blender, something stupid, right? And then, real talk, man, I have it on fucking camera. So I felt like I'm filming it. She goes, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just filming, being stupid. And I felt like I got hit in the head with a hammer, but like light. And I was like, yo, did you see that? Did you see that? And she goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, yo, oh my God, I hope this shows up. So I'm waiting for the video to be done. And then I go back into the video, and there's this orb that's just traveling around, goes down into the thing, leaves the field of view on the viewfinder, comes back in, dances around, and she was like, holy shit. Like Big Chris was like, holy shit. Yeah. So like I see things, I mean, like I said, the old house is haunted. Definitely. They didn't bother me. But I feel like I walked in that place, like I told you before, like, yo, hey, what's up, man? I'm Jeff. I'm saging the place. But I'm just like, yo, man, I got to live here now. I could feel them. Yeah. And I don't know, like, they never ever. Yeah, ask Willen, ask Chris about how he stayed at my house, and then he woke up. Someone was spitting at him.
I think he said something about that before. Yeah.
And then the same room my first.
But that's not uncommon for Willen. Like that happens to him a lot in regular life. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around.
But then my first ex-brother-in-law, he was woken up with someone screaming in his ear, and then my brother Jack, I had some guests staying over. I think it was Isaac and Scan, maybe they were recording. But I said, Jack, can you go get some extra blankets at the front room? And he came back looking like a ghost, like someone grabbed him. But they never fuck with me because I felt like I asserted, like, hey, I'm not here to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe I've seen a lot of things, and I don't know, man. And if not, and I die tomorrow, God forbid, it's just like, this is the greatest story ever. It's better than Star Wars, man, because I've been on the hunt looking for stuff, and I don't know, like I've seen some things that are just pretty cool, in my opinion, so.
Absolutely, man. What did just to follow back up, man, on something you said, like you think that there's going to be more disclosure in the next coming 3 or 4 years. What do you think's coming, and why do you think, how do you think it's going to be rolled out?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, again, the political climate that's going on right now. And I know it sounds crazy, but like it's going to be an all or nothing thing. Right now it's a soft disclosure because, again, they keep you controlled. Like, it could scare a lot of people. Listen, man, people's fucking complete thought paradigms will be annihilated if and when that does happen. But I mean, I've been prepared in a way. I mean, I got a fucking beautiful Jesus tattooed on my chest, and I'm not saying I don't believe in. But I definitely believe in another power higher than us. But that reminds me of like when I was a kid, and it reminded me of like some of the best times, like not paying attention at mass, reading like historical. The Bible's like Star Wars to me, bro. Like literally, like you think about like all the factions of, everything going on in the Bible. It was just the best story, and it was for me passing time, so I don't have to listen to the fucking priest talk. You know what I'm saying? So that said, like for some reason, I just outgrew that in a way of like I think there's truth in the Bible, like coded truth in a way for like just like I feel like. I don't know, there's things to be learned, but not as it's said. I don't know, it's like that's super like esoteric, like weird shit. But
no, I mean, I look at a lot of religious texts, and this isn't downplaying religion to anybody, but a lot of them are good, just general guides to not being a shitbag, and like a good general guide to being like decent people. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the main lessons of like the Bible or whatever, like the 10 Commandments, it's not a bad thing to like. To follow that, or in any of the major religions, they have similar things, and it's like, it's just some people get into and they take everything so fucking literally, and it's like
when they push things on you, whatever. Yeah. But I mean, if it's helping the average Joe Schmo live a fruitful life, have at it, man. Live and let live, man. I just like, but on the same tip, like, don't fucking come try to tell me like, yo, Jesus wasn't like you talking about aliens. I'm like, motherfucker, Jesus probably was an alien, man. Like when you think about it, like, that sounds like to some people like, oh my God, what is he saying?
Blasphemy, yeah.
But when you think about it, do the fucking math, man. Like think about Egypt. Think about or Sumerian stuff. Like, come on, man. Like this shit is so, we have such a thick veil on our our historical memory,
Absolutely. And when you look at the archaeological record with no trying lens through it, but you just look at shit and you see all this weird stuff,
dude,
that you're like, dude. I mean, there's those Egyptian hieroglyphs. It looks like helicopters and fucking ships and fucking stuff.
Masks
and
the space helmets. And
and then just the fact of like so many of the different countries that have pyramids, and some of them look very similar. The Egyptian pyramids look very different than like the Mexican pyramids, but like some of like the Southeast Asian pyramids look pretty similar to the Indian pyramids or the Mexican pyramids and stuff like that. And the fact that they're all on these like same like lines of like like on the meridian or whatever,
ley lines,
the ley lines, and just crazy shit like that.
Yeah, but most people are just like it's too far. Again, it's like some people have a hard time like looking at themselves in the mirror for whatever reason. You know, like maybe they did something, whatever, or they just don't like themselves. It's the same kind of vibe. Like I just can't even entertain that because that'll destroy whatever crutch they have of like what they think the world is about.
Sure. Well, and the problem with all this is that this is all unknowns. And I hate when people like, oh, well, no, this is what really happened. How the fuck do you know, dude? Were you there? Like, maybe there was like ancient, no pun intended for the TV show, but ancient alien interventions. Yeah. Maybe there was just, 30,000 years ago, we were way more advanced. And there was previous advanced civilizations, and like humans had grown and adapted and advanced technologically in different ways than we are now. And then, through natural events, people died. Those people died out. And then things got lost. And then now we're rediscovering it. Like, who the fuck knows? I don't know what happened 30, 40, 50,000 years ago. Never mind 100,000 or 2 million years ago. Neither does anyone that's walking the earth right now. Yeah. Well, as far as we know, you know what I mean? But
exactly what they're telling us, right?
Yeah. So the thing is like, this is all shit that lies outside of like, just trying to survive the day. So people don't think about that shit, or if they do, they're just kind of going with the easy story that they were given, or what they were grown up on, or what they were acclimated to as a child, and whether it's religion or whatever beliefs they have. So it is hard to think about this stuff because this is the type of shit that can keep you up all fucking night, man. Like if you're thinking about that, dude, like you're like, fucking, how are you gonna sleep? You're like, what the fuck was it?
I would never change my life path at all. Like. I've lived, me and Eric were talking on the way here, I've lived a Forrest Gump type of life, like had some of the craziest good things and some of the craziest like extraordinary bad things happen, which is life, whatever. But if I was forced to redo it again, like at this moment I would never change anything, but if I was forced to redo my life again, I would definitely be some type of astronaut or attempt to be. Yeah. And, Van Halen fucked it all for me, but, set me on my path. But honestly, when I think about it, it would be just that. Like, I would do something like in some capacity, be like trying to attain some type of communication, or who knows? I mean, I'm of the mindset that they walk among us, dude, and they look like us and act like us, and I don't know. I really do. I don't think it's going to be like this little green guy. Like, I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like if there are other beings out there, they're mostly bipedal like we are, like stand up straight, and maybe they look a little bit different. But how many people on Earth look different? Just like, so same deal. It's just, I don't understand why it's kept from us. But, I mean, I think within the next... People don't want a soft disclosure. The people that follow this, and they do understand, like, well, for Mary, Martha, and Jimmy John, who are like devout Christians, whatever, it goes against their complete. But if that's the truth of like what's really out there, like, yo, you're just like, you're in fucking the perpetual Groundhog Day for what? Because you're not advancing in any way. We could be so far along and disease free. Like, you have to think, like, if I'm not saying if, I'm saying they are. So that's saying, being that they do travel how far away, like they're way more advanced than we are, I feel. And it seems that way.
Sure.
I don't know. It's, I always get like kind of stuck trying to talk to people with certain, I can talk to you because you're of the mindset, but like some of the politics stuff that we were talking about today, and we were like saying like, oh, it's just this type of information. Remember we were walking outside, like it's hard for me to explain that point of view to certain people because it's just like, they look at you like, huh? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then everything's starting to come true. And it's just like, there are people out there like myself, and I'm surrounded by a lot of people that are fucking thirsty for knowledge. Like, the older I get, the more I want to learn. Like, man. I fucked off in school, man. Like, like punk rock, fuck you, whatever. But I feel like I'm a pretty smart person in a way of like, I just like to learn. And, like the closest thing to God and the devil, if there is one, is Google and YouTube. You can enter what is Truth's birthday. Like, how generic does that sound, right? And you can get the best answer or the most fucking evil, fucked up shit ever. So that said, these tools are at your expense. Just, you know, fucking tread lightly, you know?
Yeah, well, I feel too, like with things like Google, it's like you can get an answer, and is it the answer or is it what?
Or forced narrative.
You know, what's filtered to you, you know, based on what, I don't know.
There's other search pages out there now that are like a lot more private, and they give you, I feel like it's less controlled than like the alphabet Google stuff, you know, but
it's tough because some of these things become so huge and monopolistic, like people just automatically, everyone in the world just goes to Google, like, you know, because it's like, that's the thing, you know, like I remember like, and it's weird to see like the struggles, like, you know, for a while, it was like Netscape was big or Yahoo or all these, like, it was like the battle of all these weird search engines, and now it's just fucking Google.
Yep.
Unless you're like, you know, someone that's like looking at, what's the one, like the DuckDuckGo or something.
You know
like
what
that.
I use? It's a pretty it's the world's, they build it as the world's safest search engine is Startpage, STARTPAGE. Startpage, yeah. It's pretty,
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's again, I probably found it off some like fucking conspiracy, like, yo, you need to get this because they are watching what you're searching. You know what I mean? I mean, like any phone call, it's being recorded. You know it is. It's been
everything's being recorded. Whether it's being listened to or not is a different story. Like I think you have to say some shit that raises enough flags for them to like start to.
And when we're done this, remind me about that, because I want to tell you something about that.
Okay, yeah.
Because it'll put together what we were talking about earlier. Sorry, guys, we're talking about some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I hope, like I said, I'm out there in the desert or just in dark areas by myself. Like, I'm not concerned about an animal. I don't want to hurt an animal, but I have many firearms on me. I'll do it. I got a human, same deal. I don't know if a fucking 40 caliber fucking Smith & Wesson is going to be able to fucking stop a fucking being. I don't know. And I don't want to ever.
Have you ever seen weird shit when you've been out there in the desert? Or I mean, I know you travel the country and
just shit flying, like weird. Mostly times it's like space trash type things, or like, you know. Well, one time, me, Shane, and Jack, we were out at. It's a dried lake bed in California. It's called ZZXXYY, California. If you're ever out there, it's by the water park.
What a bizarre name.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? They changed the name of it. And our eyes adjusted. And Jack's like, holy shit, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, dude, that is the most precise, long, like, a train of stars that are just flowing in the sky. And we were all like, what the fuck? But it was Musk's, SpaceX's Star Trail, I think it's, or satellite. Yeah. I forget what it's called, but it's like a whole trail of satellites. It's like hundreds of them, dude. So we saw that. At first we were like, they're here.
It's coming.
We were excited, but I am reserved. I just watched too many horror movies when I was a kid, and those type of things. And I don't really like watching horror movies that much today, but I do like sci-fi things.
Sure.
Like, I kind of feel it's sort of like Prometheus. Like that's us in a way. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like that's what our history is a little bit. I'm not really a big aliens. Like the whole
trilogy.
Yeah, I'm not. But Prometheus, I love, man.
It's all super ancient alien theory stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just fucking tired of the same fucking aliens. Like,
do you think that stuff comes about because, like TV shows like that are popular, or do you think that stuff is just kind of to try and, you know, desensitize people to imminent disclosure? You know what I mean? To kind of soften the blow, like get people kind of like more prepared. Or at least thinking about that as a possibility, because, hey, you know.
That's what I think they were doing with these, like, you know, the pilots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, put it like this, why is Ancient Aliens so successful? Because there are a ton of people that either believe or entertain.
You know what my only problem is with Ancient Aliens, or
And that's not
the
me
show.
co-signing it.
Yeah, no, the show or just that whole thing is, like in Charity of the Gods and things like that, they lay out these like compelling kind of arguments backed by things. But I think then the show, like when the show came out, it was cool, and then it became so big, and then they just stopped reaching for shit, and sometimes it gets a little bit like silly in a way.
Yeah, they're
and it's like, man, this shit just discredited like almost everything you've already done now.
Yep.
Because this is so fucking foolish or dumb, and you're just trying to fill an episode. Whether it's, I'm not talking about whether it's the people they're interviewing or somebody's like making this, in the production company is forming this episode, and then it's like, man, this is so ridiculous.
From like, I don't follow that many people from that, but I was a huge follower, believer of David Wilcock, but something's up with him, dude, and I don't know yet. And I got this feeling, and then my go-to guy is a guy named Jordan Sather. So he's like an anti-vaxxer, super political guy, but he's super ET, like, and he's a young guy and he's smart. He's done some movies with Wilcock, and for some reason he distanced himself recently from Wilcock publicly, and he hasn't told anyone why. But I mean, I learned a lot from that. But Sather's my guy.
Hit him up.
Well, he did post recently. He's going to let everyone know. So yeah. So I'm waiting to hear why. But regardless, like, I've learned a lot. Whether he's like becoming like all about the money now because he's really blown up. He's had a whole bunch of New York Times bestsellers. And when he was like a big guy on Gaia Network, which is like half yoga, half aliens. Anyone that likes alien type stuff, subscribe to Gaia. Don't worry about the yoga. Just go to all the fucking.
Well, and then your significant other might be into yoga, and then it's a win-win. There you go.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's how I convinced my ex-wife, because she was a yoga teacher. I'm like, I think we need to get this. This is gonna be great. And then I was the only one to watch it because sitting around the clock, fucking.
Hey, it's crazy, man. Even on like I have at the house, I have Direct TV and stuff, and they like promote the Gaia channel and stuff. And I was like, oh, you can just subscribe to it right on here. You don't even need to do it on their thing.
I'll give you my email, my password, and have at it. You may not ever like. You're gonna be like, there's some really compelling stuff on there, man. It's just like there's a lot of movies, documentaries that are pretty good, like the Bob Lazar one. Did you see that one?
Well, I was going to ask you about that, like what your thoughts were on Bob Lazar, because
I feel like he's legit, but I also feel like he's shady at the same time. And that's where I
shady how?
Like, I feel like there's a lot of things he can't prove.
Yeah.
But there are some things. There's so many people that co-sign him in ways that are like that. Intimately know him in ways of like, I don't know.
But the thing is, what's weird about him is that he'll say where he was and this and that, and they're all no, but then they'll find like company like directories for the phone, and he's in it.
He's in it, right?
And it's like, it is like he almost got like fucking blackballed or blackwashed or whatever from things.
Yeah.
But even like there's even newspaper articles with him like, hey, Bob Lazar, scientist that blah blah blah.
I just wish a lot of these people, like, they don't get. That's what I think is happening with Wilcock. It's like he's blowing up, and unfortunately, the 3-letter word of ego is getting to him.
Yeah,
where he preaches against all that stuff, Yeah, and I wish there was just like some random, like, street dude.
Yeah.
That's why, like, it really. Like, it bothers the fuck out of me, man, when I see someone like fuck with a homeless person.
Oh yeah.
And whatever your point of view of God is, I'm like, yo, that could be fucking God right there. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but it could be a test. Like, like, how are you gonna fuck with that person? That dude might be the smartest dude that has all the secrets to the world, and you're fucking laying into him. And
it just comes down to common respect anyway.
Yeah.
Like, why are you fucking with anybody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Unless they initiate it.
Yeah.
I've always, and my father, I remember this, like, going on my bus, the kindergarten bus, first day of school. He's like, look, if I find out you're fucking around, I don't think he said fucking around, but he might have. It's my dad. He might have. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, if you're out there and you're causing trouble and you're starting fights, like, you're gonna get it when you get home. But if someone starts with you and you don't handle it, you're gonna get it when you get home. And that was old school, like you know what I mean. And I don't have a kid, but I wish I had a kid to impart that stuff on. Like And I was, obviously when I was younger and I was a little more fucking wild or whatever, I would be a little more literal with that and maybe try and goad someone to throw the first punch. I was defending myself, you know what I mean? But, but I've always kind of held that in regards, like, like I'm like a live and let live, man. Like, I don't, like, I can be hot-headed, like anybody else. Yeah, I know, like I think, I know.
I'm notorious for it. But, I mean, my heart is
AKA the name stress, you know what I mean? But you try and be cool, and it's just, if you get fucked with, then I feel like, hey, you open the Pandora's box.
Yeah, and
so fuck you.
That's how I feel, man. And I don't know, like, I feel at some point, like, we're going to find out, dude. We're going to find out that we're not alone. We don't. Some of us come from here, and a lot of us don't.
Yeah.
I like there's initial humans that were here, and then there's a human coming from all over the place, and then I don't know. Like, it sounds pretty crazy, but I mean, dude, look at World War II, bro. Like fucking the Nazi fucking bell. Like fucking A. They had a fucking flying saucer crap, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they were into so much occult shit that it was like they were reaching out for help. And I feel, from what I understand, from what I read, they kept reaching out, whether it was channeling or whatever, and something answered back, and it wasn't like a spirit, it was other fucking beings. And that's why they were so technologically advanced at the time, man, And lo and behold, where do those fucking SS fucking Nazi fucking scientists come after fucking World War II?
Head of NASA,
Yes, sir.
Werner von Braun or whatever.
Sir. Yeah, that's exactly who it was,
Yeah.
So
it's fucking crazy, too, to think about. In our grandparents' lifetime, there was basically a cult that almost took over the fucking world. The Nazi philosophy as a political philosophy, but there was also, it was so tied in with like all these weird fucking occult fucking beliefs and shit, like fucking weird, dude. Like,
so there's a book.
And it's not like it was, you think about when you read all that stuff, you always think about like, oh, that shit happened so far in the past. I'm like, well, some of this shit happened in our grandparents' lifetime. My grandfather was over
it's
there.
still carrying on. So there's an author by the name of Jim Marrs, Marrs. He's now recently deceased within the last year. They think it's like a little bit, he knew too much, but he has a book called The Fourth Reich, and basically just how like the Nazi mentality, especially after Operation Paperclip and all Werner von Braun and all these Nazi scientists that that got us to the moon, whatever. Infiltrated. It's still happening in a subtle, weird way, and then you look at the world we live in right now, whether it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, if you can take a step back, we're living it right now, what I mean? So
for anyone that doesn't know or think this shit's real, like you can look up Operation Paperclip and see, like basically the US and Russia divided up Nazi scientists. These dudes were war criminals, and they got a fucking pass to come here or to go to Russia and to advance our technology. But some of these people were straight up fucking scumbag, fucking
the worst
horrible, like fucking evil motherfuckers. And
they co-signed all that stuff that they were involved in, man.
Yeah, and then these dudes become the head of NASA. What do you think of like SpaceX and a private like space exploration? Now that he's successfully launched and got people up there,
I think he's different.
Yeah,
but I'm all for it, man.
Yeah,
like I know, like I'm not trying to be that dude to spend. Yeah, for one ride into space is $300K or something like that. But I mean, I guess it costs. I mean, I know it obviously costs money, but I have no problem with it. I just. Again, going back to like where everything's politicized, so it's just like, is it about space or is it about, it's just like, it's hard to decipher sometimes, man, but I am for it, man. I'm all for it, because if it's and they haven't killed him yet, or he's in cahoots with the deep state that are doing that, or he's that fucking smart that that the people that run the big puppet show of the planet, they need this guy. You know, they'll never, for the same reason. Like people are like, we're all gonna die. They're not gonna kill us all. They could kill a lot of us, but they still need us to do the work for them. You know what I mean? So that's it. And I don't know. And then that goes into my deep theory of like the leaders of the world are controlled by other fucking beings, man. You know, it's almost like Pinky in the Brain.
No, but I mean, even just to kind of reel it and not even get that not crazy, but that deep into shit.
There's an alien right there, right behind you.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's big motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
There's a huge spider crawling up the wall behind my head right now. What do you think about what I mean when we say like private space exploration? Do you think that's gonna like push things further? Like if they get out there, like now, obviously if NASA goes out there and they see some weird shit, they censor it and whatnot. Now with private companies going out there, and SpaceX is the first, which means other companies, there's other corporate entities or private companies not far behind, because you know capitalism and free enterprise, or or what's left of it, like always fosters
Bro, I'm telling you right now.
Do you think when these private companies, are they going to be beholden to the same silence? Or are they going to say, hey, we saw some fucking shit out there, what the fuck? One,
I hope not. And we get all the information. Two, they make it readily available for people like you and I. Maybe you and I will jump on the same motherfucking ship and like, yo, truth, let's go.
All I want to do is be successful enough in life so that at some point in my life I have enough money to get on one of those fucking flights.
I just not even that. Like, hopefully it becomes so readily available that we can like, yeah, we're going to this fucking habitable planet. Like,
fuck Disney World. Let's go to the moon and jump around a little bit,
bro. Come on, man. Sign me up.
Yeah. Absolutely. Making sure that motherfucker doesn't jump on me right now. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. This 2020 has been a fucking weird year, bro. Like between SpaceX, between fucking obviously COVID and these riots,
yeah, man.
Fucking
politics in general.
The country, the Pentagon admitting that there's UFOs, like all this crazy shit. Like so much big shit seems to be getting overshadowed, and by COVID or rioting, which I understand. At first, COVID could be seen as something that was worse than what it was. And I know it's still going on, and I always say this shit without any disrespect to anybody that was deeply affected by the COVID, but just really understand you're so in the minority with a 99 point whatever percent survival rate. If you lost someone, it's a tragedy. People die every day from all kinds of things, and we don't ban everything. Like, you know what I mean?
For instance, like my dad, and like we were talking today, like my dad literally died 6 days after my grandfather died. And they didn't find my dad's body because he died on the job putting food on the table. Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm getting at is like, he signed up for that. He knew what he was doing. And like most people don't die that way. When my dad died, they didn't find, like I said, they didn't find his body. Like it was extraordinary. That's like, I live a Forrest Gump type of life. I'm not knocking anyone who's stricken with that as well. But it's just like, yo, there's so much stuff going on out there, man. It's just like you can either see who a free thinker is, or you can see who a bootlicker is. And I'm not talking about like, oh, I choose this side of this political spectrum or not. No, I'm talking about people that's like, the government says this, or the news says this, aka the mouthpiece for this political faction. So you know what, truth? I'm gonna go do it. Like, I'm like, really? Like, can't you fucking think for your fucking self?
I know, but you know what? You know what the problem with some of that is that they're pulling at heartstrings, and they're appealing to people's sense of like decency. So, like,
true,
you're an asshole, quote unquote, if you're not wearing a mask because you're potentially infecting other people. What they don't show you is that how much times the CDC and other organizations have flip-flopped about masks. And two, even like the U.S. Surgeon General talking about how masks are ineffective. Even Fauci on tape saying masks are ineffective. It's a false sense of comfort. Like I'll say, I don't know for exactly how many, but most of the masks or fucking bandanas or whatever that people are wearing do not prevent the transmission of disease. It's just there as comfort. You know, like you feel like you're doing something, and you feel like if someone's not wearing that mask, that they're fucking being selfish fucking pricks. And, you know,
they want to sell it to you as like, well, this is our new normal.
Yeah, fuck the new normal, bro, dude. Listen. You know what people don't talk about was it 2018? There was a huge tuberculosis pandemic that killed way more people. How many people even know about that? And if you don't believe me, fucking Google it, dude, or look it up on whatever search engine you use. Go look it on, what was it called? Start page, right? You know, but like there's been outbreaks of other stuff that have been way worse. We haven't shut whole economies down. Yeah. And, you know, and I'm not coming at this from a place of not empathy. I'm a motherfucker that's worked for WHO and I've worked for CDC. There's reasons I don't work for them anymore. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Other than I want to pursue a non-lucrative career in motorcycle stuff, but it's a passion project that I love, you know? But whatever, you know, I'm kidding and making light of myself, but
but you're doing your own thing on your own terms.
But I've worked for those organizations and, you know, like, there's reasons that I don't. And I didn't get fired. I left, you know what I mean? Just so people know. But anyway, but like you gotta step back from the craziness and not get caught up in everything. And, you know, and I just see people throwing like statistics and this and that around, and it's like, it's all based on whatever.
Bro, you see where it's posted, right? People are throwing these things around. The majority of things are, oh shit, Utch is back. Eric
and Ryan have returned.
We're back.
Even more hammered than before they left.
It's out 20 after 2 in the morning. It's all about the hammer.
Is it 20 after 2 a.m.?
Yeah.
Hey, man.
We were quiet. We went and sat outside by the...
This is like coast to coast AM right now. We're talking about weird shit right now, man.
We're already talking about doing our own fucking alien podcast.
Yeah. Well, we weren't, but now we are. Yeah. Here we are.
You missed all the good alien talk before the thing hit record.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this is what we do. We get hammered and we talk about crazy shit at 2:30 in the morning and fucking and hang out after a day full of motorcycles, vans, and hot rods and fucking other cool shit.
And for the record, I am the only sober person here right now.
Yeah, what's that app that you have? You gotta plug that out. That's a good app.
Which one? Oh,
the one that you look at the sky.
Oh, Sky Guide.
Soberapp.com.
Sky Guide, not Sky God. For people who might have missed
Sky Guide. Yeah.
My app is called Sky God, and it's about something. I'm in development phase right now, so. All right. So before we wrap up today, because I can see it's going to degenerate pretty quick, I definitely want to thank you for coming out.
No, thank you so much for having me, bud.
But two things really quickly. Just give plugs so people can find out what you're up to, whether it's musically or I know you have your photography page and whatnot. How can people kind of check out what you got going on?
Instagram and Twitter. You can get me personally, Stress215, STRESS 215. And then my websites are The Chop Shop Studio, THECHOPSHOPSTUDIO.com. And then my photography is STWBphotography.com. And that's also on Instagram, STWB Photography. You pretty much are going to see a bunch of bright colored, tie-dyed looking pictures of the sky, Milky Way, landscape, some guns,
dogs,
a lot of puppies in my life, you know. And I'm a Philadelphia Eagles and Philadelphia Flyers fan for life. So please don't at me on any sports talk at all, because you'll get destroyed. And that's the end of it. And yeah, thanks for having me. But yeah, Stress215, thechopshopstudio.com, STWB. Photography.com.
I'll have all this in the show notes as well. So just go check out the show notes, and there'll be a clickable link. And don't forget, I'm having a contest, and this contest is open to anyone. I just need your, I guess, what's the word, metaphors, or, like, this is from manscaped.com, and they make fucking shit to groom your balls, basically.
Oh shit.
And
I'm a barber. Buy that shit. I got one. It's a good clipper.
yeah. And there's an endorsement from Ryan Packer, official barber, and but no, so you know, and when I do official ball groomer, if you go see Packer for a haircut, you might ask for some other trims other places. You might have the trimmings with him, but
That costs extra.
that costs extra, you know. But you know, everything's negotiable. No, but like. People dug my little, I guess, metaphors for the last time when I was like, "Yo, does your junk look like a fucking like it's got does your dingus look like it's got Bob Ross in a rear naked choke?" You know what I mean? You need to clean that shit up. So I need people to come up with some good slogans like that or some good metaphors like that of what your dingus looks like when it's in the middle of the nappy dugout. Eric Uch is passed out just officially, but you can hit me up at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com and whatever one I choose, I will read on the air, and you will also receive a gift pack, and which will include merchandise and prizes from Manscaped.com, Chopperhead.com, Pitchfork, Ryan's favorite Pirates Press Records.
Go on Instagram and pull out your Batwing, tag Pirates Press.
No. I don't want any dick pics. I'm putting this out there right now. You motherfuckers, relax. I don't want any dick pics. I only want words on what your junk looks like when it's not maintained. Like, that's all I need. And I'm gonna pick a winner, and I'll send you a prize pack that's got all kinds of shit in it. And again, just email the best simile or metaphor, whatever it's called, that you have at bigtruthpodcast@gmail.com, and we will see you fucking soon. All right, thanks
for having me.
All right.